Peace, love to the family. Alkaline state of mind. Tuning in with another breakdown of these smoofy, goofy, so-called boxing content creators. Never threw a punch a day in their life. Never been, man, in a real fight, man, a day in their lives and things of this nature, man. So the next up, man, is Showbiz the Adult. Straight smoofy, goofy. Now, he says if Lamont Roach beat PitBull Cruz, he's better than Tank, right? Then he says, based off of the press conference when Lamont Roach said, I'm going to be strong as shit, he's putting the max bet on Lamont Roach to beat PitBull Cruz. Based off of that, literally his words verbatim is, that's all I needed to hear. Based off of, once you walk around in your natural weight, this makes you the most strongest and things of this nature. This Smoofy just had a whole lot to say about the Crawford-Canelo fight. So are we going to listen to his level of consciousness, awareness, keen insight, perception? It is heavily distorted, meaning that it's thoughts that he has within his mind based off his weak awareness, weak consciousness. And I say consciousness, man, because it takes, man, keen awareness, family. Observation. Observation is dealing with perception. Perception is dealing with observation. He is lacking tremendously by the things that he said about the Canelo Crawford fight and the things, man, that he's basing off of seeing this press conference and then off of watching the Tank Davis fight. And because Tank Davis took a knee, go watch the Gary Russell video, family. Him explaining about the knee. Clearly, right? Let's talk about the knee real quickly. Clearly, Tank took a knee. But was he hit by a punch? Was he hurt? Was he wobbled at any given moment to take that knee? No, he was not. So based off of him taking the knee, he would say, Showbiz Smoofy Adult will say, Lamont Roach won that fight based off of that knee if the ref would have counted that. So is that how we giving wins? Because even if you was to go with that assessment, is that how you want Lamont Roach to win? So you see the secret hate that he has against Tank. And he would say, I don't hate no fighters. Yes, the fuck you do. Because when you say things like that and then you want to give somebody a win based off of him taking a knee and there was no punch landed whatsoever, no hurt, none of that. Give me 1 second. Elderberry herbal tea. So based off of that, you want to give him the win. So now let's talk about Smoofy Goofy Showbiz talking about he's better than Tank. Here's a man that lost to Jamel Herring. Here's a man, that went 12 rounds, man, with Hector Garcia, which Tank, man, fucked his whole cerebellum up, which caused, man, his vision, and he still felt that after the fight. So if we want to go based off of, Tank fought this guy, you know what I mean? Lamont Roach fought Tank, Cruz fought Tank. Like, come on, man. That is the most dumbest shit ever, man, to go based off of these things. Let's go to the whole career of Tank Davis, who he's fought. Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia. He smashed on Hector Garcia. And he's about to go up, man, against Jake Paul. Now, wait till you see what happens, man, with the Jake Paul fight. And how many people, man, hop on Tank's sacks to sit there, man, and say that Lamont Roach is better than Gervonta Tank Davis because he beats PitBull Cruz? And then you placing a max bet just because he said he's going to be strong as shit? Let me explain something to you about PitBull Cruz. with you niggas is going to have a rude awakening, man. Lamont Roach is going to have to deal with PitBull Cruz pressure. Any fighter is going to have to deal with that. All of Cruz's fights since after Tank Davis, you see it. The pressure and the amount of power that he brings, you're going to have to deal with that. So you sitting there, Lamont Roach, saying you're going to knock Cruz out, or if not, you know what I mean, you're going to beat him up badly. How? How is you going to do that? There's no way in the world you're going to do that. Can't no fighter do that. Now, you able to possibly win against Cruz. It's been proven he got 3 losses. So you possibly able to win. But even in those 3 losses, his last opponent that he lost to, he could have knocked him out. He barely survived, man, even to get that win against Cruz. So he has a tough challenge in front of him. And he's coming up off this high horse, man, with Gervonta Tank Davis. Like Smoofy, goofy Lamont Roach. You did nothing against Tank. That was not Tank. Trust and believe me, that was not Tank. And I so hope, right, after, man, you know what I mean, this Jake Paul fight, that he comes straight for you, Lamont Roach. And possibly, man, might even look past you. Because Cruz might just knock you the fuck out. Because you have no idea, man, what it's like in the ring with Cruz. If you really paying attention. Cruz is no fucking joke. You have to deal with his shit. And if you can deal with his shit, then you possibly is able to win. But you're going to have to deal with his shit for 12 rounds because he's bringing it for all 12 rounds. Pressure. And that, family, is the diabolical shit that's coming Lamont Roach's way. Lastly, Showbiz the adult. If Lamont Roach beat PitBull Cruz, he's nowhere near better than Tank. He just came up from 130, and now all of a sudden, man, everyone got, not even everyone, Smoofies like you has Lamont Roach upon your tongue, bobbing and weaving on his sacks, thinking, man, that potentially he could be great because he did what against Tank, actually? He gave Tank, man, a good fight. Okay, what does that mean? He didn't win the fight. He did not win the fight. And then you want to say, oh, well, based off of Tank taking the knee, so you want to give him a gift when Tank took a knee that did not warrant or came from any type of punch, being hurt, anything of that nature. So you want to give him a victory based off of that. Family, man, the agenda, man, against Tank, or people being mad at Tank because of the way Tank move and whom he chooses to fight, things of this nature. This is what it is. So everyone is so-called seeking, man, the new next big thing, and then secretly hating on Tank, wanting him to lose and things of this nature. And, you know, I feel real good about it, man, because it's all going to backfire. December 6th, I will be tuned in, and I'm placing my bet on PitBull Cruz. With that being said, Smoofy, goofy, showbiz adult. All I'm going to say, man, is observing your level of observation and placing a bet and your reason of placing a bet on particular fighters, man. You know what I mean? You lacking and you're not winning in the big fights. The Canelo Crawford fight, your assessment was way off. Way the fuck off. And now, here you go with your emotional assessment once again. that is way off, secretly hating Tank, saying if Lamont Roach, he just came from 130, was a no-name fighter, literally. He had a loss to Jamel Herring. Like, come on, what is we talking about? He has not fought none of the top fighters at 135. That was a gift to go up against Tank. And because he had a decent fight against Tank, now all of a sudden, you're going to sit there, man, and say he's better than Tank? He hasn't even fought no one at 135 yet, aside from Tank. Because he hasn't did that, how the fuck is you saying he's better than Gervonta Tank Davis? He has not fought anybody within his career since moving up from 130. So he has a draw with Tank, and if he beat PitBull Cruz, he's better than Tank? So from 130 to 135 to 140, his only victory, possibly based off of what you're saying, if he beat PitBull Cruz, he's better than Tank. So from 130 to beating PitBull Cruz, now all of a sudden he's better than Tank? If you watch the Tank Davis fight, was Tank beat up? Was Tank hurt? Yo, when it comes to Gervonta Tank Davis, family, you're dealing, man, with an elite master. When you start fighting, training to be a fighter in whatever arena of the fighting sport, and you train from a young age and then all the way up, man, to 30 years old, depending on whom you are, you become a master at your craft. Gervonta is supremely elite. A focused Gervonta Tank Davis is a dangerous Gervonta Tank Davis. And you didn't see that fully the Lamont Roach fight. But you guys, man, just wait and see, man. And don't jump back, man, on Gervonta Tank Davis sacks. You know what I mean? You so-called fucking fanboys. So-called boxing content creators, man. You niggas is crazy, man.